at nothing all day. And we've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business every way. We've been taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business. And I've been working overtime. Work out.
I just realized I think there's a Queen song I would like to attach to this.
Yeah.
I love Queen so much. Today somebody sent me some Queen songs and I was going nuts.
Yeah, that and Creed. There's a bunch out there.
Yeah. Okay. So let me take care of business first. You guys recognize Molly Tideback over there. Former Hawkeye. Also went to the Final Four, in case you guys have forgotten. In 1993. I got the year right.
A long time ago, but there we were.
All righty. Okay, guys. If you haven't already subscribed to the show, do it now while you're thinking about it, while I said it. Please do like the content, share the show wherever you can do it. Share it all over Facebook. I don't care. Tell your friends and whoever. Good news. I want to say it right up the top because I don't know how many people are going to listen at the end. We have finally confirmed Callie Levine will be on this show Thursday night at the same time we're on right now, maybe a few minutes earlier.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I've got some icebreakers planned.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let Molly talk to her.
Can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to her and pick her brain and see what's up and see how her year went and how it felt. And because I get it, been there, done that. I cannot wait.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, let's just start with some news that happened since the end of the season.
Phew.
We lost an assistant coach who's now a head coach, which good for her. She's at Florida Golf Course, Raina Harmon.
Yeah,
did I say
it's
her name
my
right?
time. Yeah, Harmon,
Yeah.
Coach Harmon.
Yeah, Coach Harmon, or whatever I don't even know what they call her. I mean, I'm sure they have a nickname for her, but
pretty sure. But it's time.
Yeah, it's time. She deserves it, and it just means Jan has to go out and find somebody else to replace her. But I'm sure she'll find the right person.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm throwing Molly Tideback's name in the ring. You ready to move back to Iowa City, girl?
Yeah, my mom keeps saying it. She's like, it's time for you to move back to Iowa. I was like, I don't know, Mom. I was like, I don't know. I'd probably do it for that. That'd probably be the only thing I'd do it for. But otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. And, of course, as we all know, and we're all disappointed, I don't think anybody's happy that Aaliyah Guyton left the team. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I kind of suspected when there were rumors what her dad was putting on X or Twitter or whatever we want to call it these days. Yeah. But I kind of dismissed it, kind of like, not really. I mean, she's almost guaranteed the starting.
I thought so too.
Point guard I think we all thought she was the starting point guard next year, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we discussed it throughout the year. We had said a little bit like, man, you do need to get her in there and keep these kids happy, just because of the way the NIL deals and the portal works. That like, it's bad, but you do have to kind of look at that because you have ideas of the way it used to work back in the day, right? Like you wait your turn and you step in when it's time. Now it's not like that anymore. Like I don't need to wait my turn. I'll just go off somewhere else and they'll pay me money and I'll play.
Yeah. I think Iowa's culture for both men and women. Now men is different this year because of the situation. But our culture is that we've not lost a lot of people to the portal over the years.
No, very loyal.
And that just says a lot about our program at Iowa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the culture that they've developed, both Jan and what Fran had. I mean, say what you might.
Yeah.
Fans might got some apathy. They may have quit showing up with their money and stuff. But his players loved him. They loved him. They came to play for him.
Yeah, and they love Iowa. I mean, and they stay. They're there for the program. It just is what it is. I mean, so it is hard to understand, but I'm pretty sure there's reasons behind it. I guarantee it was a amicable separation. I guarantee there's no hard feelings, and it's pretty. It's understood that hey, this is what's best for her.
Yeah.
And they'll move on. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, so it's almost like, do we need to be shopping for 2 point guards now? I know she was shopping for one. And so far we don't have anybody, and I'm not going to go into the names that have been thrown out there because honestly, like I told
Who
Calvin,
knows?
who's watching right now, is I don't get excited about transfer portal people or recruits until they actually sign their name and say, "Hey, we're
And they're
here."
in a Hawkeye uniform. Yep.
Yep, they're in a Hawkeye uniform, and so because we're going to go through a lot of different names, a lot of different rumors on who she's going to get, and I think she's looking for a power forward to replace Sydney, and
Mm-hmm.
she's all but said this. So I mean, it's not like we're thinking that this.
No, and it makes sense. I mean, as a coach, you got to know what you're doing, and we know too, watching what they're missing and what's leaving, what needs to be brought in, and
Mhm,
then to play at the caliber that we're gonna have to play out now, play at now.
mhm.
Like, I mean, you're to say that you don't have to reach out into the portal, I think is silly.
Yeah,
I think we do. We do. I mean, we're
yeah,
gonna have to get booster money. We're gonna have to whatever it is, alumni money, whatever, to figure out a way to bring in, a lot of people were saying, oh well, what good did the money, there's a lot of naysayers with Lucy Olson, but it wasn't all Lucy. That's not all Lucy's fault.
mhm,
Again, coming off of the back end of or the back year of a Caitlin Clark, it's
mhm,
that if it weren't if she came in as just Lucy Olson, not coming in thinking, oh, she's going to replace Caitlin Clark,
mhm.
people
Yeah,
would have been very happy with what they saw with her as a player. I'm just saying.
yeah.
But
I
to
think.
come in and I got to fill the shoes of this amazing person right here, come on
Yeah.
now.
Well, I think she started out um, okay, got a little rough in the middle
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think by her own admission, she wasn't used to Big Ten physicality play. She wasn't used to the style of play that Jan plays. And
Yeah.
they were all trying to make the pieces fit early on. I mean,
Mhm.
if they could have done that quicker,
Yeah.
they would have had a better record.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, we
but
saw it. We didn't think they were going to make it out. Remember? I mean, it was
mhm,
bad. It was
yeah,
bad for a minute.
yeah. And you got to trust Jan because even Jan said, I think on the very last loss, I think it was on that losing streak that they had, the very last one was to Oregon State. And I
Hmm.
believe she said, guys, I believe we're closer than further away of turning this thing around. And then they ripped off
They
5 or
did.
6 in a row.
They did. They did. And I even
Yeah.
thought like losing that game in the Big Ten tournament would have gave them the motivation to push a little bit further than they did in the in you
Mhm.
know in the actual bracket, NCAA bracket. But it is what it
Oklahoma,
is.
wow, what a draw. I mean,
Yeah.
they drew, I mean, if they had drawn anybody else, any other 6 seed, I think they could have got by them. But what it
Yeah.
was
And then
about
they
Oklahoma, and I
were
think,
And then they're
maybe
hitting
Jenny's.
UConn at the level UConn is right now. Like they're hitting
Oh,
UConn.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was
UConn.
yeah.
Yeah. UConn was going, they're going to win it this year. Yeah, it's just like, you guys are
Yeah.
foolish to make them a 2 seed because, you could just see it in Paige Becker's eyes. She
Well,
was
and all
not
of
going
them,
down. Hmm?
no, and all of them just gelled when they were supposed to,
Mhm.
because you didn't have all those players on the floor at the same time. It hadn't happened because there was injury after injury, and then boom, they made it.
Yeah. No, no, and honestly, I'm kind of glad they won it. I'm kind of
Yeah,
tired
I
of
am
seeing South
too. I was tired
Carolina
of seeing
winning it
South
all the
Carolina.
time.
It was kind of nice. I hate it, but it was nice seeing Dawn Staley a little frustrated. Not able to just play her way out of it,
Mhm.
and then she was trying
Once they
to.
got 30 points down, there wasn't much she could do, but just
No, I mean, she was just putting her head down. She was trying to coach her way out of it. You could see it. Like she's telling them they need to do this. She's telling them they need to do that. They just weren't doing it. Like it's like they just broke down at all levels. Like they weren't even getting into their press break. I mean, or their press, because she was trying to
Mhm.
throw a press on in the third quarter, and you saw she just put her head down. She's like, "I'm done. I've been telling them what to. They're not doing it. They're not here today." And it is what it is. Sometimes they just don't show up, and there's nothing you can do as a coach. It just, but
So I
yeah,
saw
wow.
something today. Speaking of Lucy,
Yeah.
okay, everybody knows that Paige is probably going to the Dallas Wings first pick,
Mhm,
unless there's a
mhm.
major surprise there.
Right.
She's the first pick. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it was late second round or early third round. The Wings are projected to pick Lucy Olson.
Wow.
Okay. I don't like that pick because that means there's a less chance of Lucy sticking around if you got Paige Becker. They're both point guards.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird combo. And then you've got what's her name from Notre Dame?
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
So I think Lucy deserves to be picked by anybody but the Wings because I don't think the Wings need her.
Yeah, I don't either. And
Unless they just want her to be a bench player. But
she'll be she'll be another Nika Mule, that was crazy that Nika Mule sat as much as she did last year.
I can't remember
And
which team she played for.
I want to say Seattle.
Okay, all right.
I want to say Seattle, and she
Or
sat.
another Grace Barger who, after the
Yeah.
preseason games, never got off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Those are great players. They're still like amazing athletes that should at least get a chance out there when things are not going well with everybody else they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Why not try it?
Why not?
They've been there, done that. It's not like they're just, I don't know, some kid that's never been on the court before. I mean,
yeah. All right. Well, we should probably turn a little bit of our talk back to the Hawkeyes.
Yes.
That's what we do here.
Yes, we do. But there's so many Hawkeyes out there, and all of those talks we're having.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And players being coached by him, everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even realize when you were talking about how many people were former Iowa Hawkeyes out there in the tournament this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Gosh.
It was amazing.
How crazy is that?
Yeah, just that one game, even what was it, Duke versus Duke played South Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there you had Jolette Law, you had Tia Jackson, and then you had Karen Clayton Lang, all Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yep.
And it's both sides of the court.
Yeah, Hawkeyes and all over the place. Yes.
Right, and then to think of that, we were all coached by C. Vivian Stringer. So that group was all coached by C. Vivian Stringer, and to think of that influence as well.
Oh yeah, I mean the influence that you guys had from that. That's why, Molly, you would make a great coach. That's why you've got to throw your hat in the ring. Of course, we wouldn't be able to do.
I know. I look and I'm like, yeah, I know I could do this, but I love my softball team over here at the high school level, and I want to take them to state. I want to make their dreams come true. You know how that is. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. I understand. Okay. Well, let's talk about the total team numbers that the Hawkeyes ended the season on. So they were used to scoring 80, 90 points a game. They ended the season at 74.4 points a game.
Wow.
But this is a good one. They held their opponents to 65.8.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I looked at last year's totals that number would be that low.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know. No, probably not. I know that, they were, I did appreciate the defensive side of it that Jan brought, you could tell that it was an emphasis that she had in practice and that she kept as a head coach, that we need to pick up our defense. And I totally appreciate that, because I know there was times where we're like, really, are we just running and gunning? Are we going to play some D?
Yeah.
But
well,
I mean,
the scoring margin this year was nearly 9 points a game. I'm sure that's down from a year ago too, because we had more losses, and I'm sure that brought the average down. And
yeah, for sure.
And with Caitlin, except for the top teams in the Big Ten, we pretty much blew everybody out last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were not doing that this year.
No, we weren't.
We were having a lot of heart attack wins.
Yeah. That Oklahoma loss, that still hurts, but I'm happy for Jenny, former Hawkeye, that she got it. The girl from Waterloo West that was on her team. You know? And I don't know if Iowa ever recruited her, but she sure played like
she played like they should have.
Yeah, it's like you didn't recruit me, but I'm showing you right now I can play this game.
Yeah, she did. She played like you should have recruited me.
Yeah. Okay. Field goal percentage was 46%. How is that compared? What do you think of that? Should that be higher, or that's about where
46% from like the field?
Yeah, from the regular field
goal.
It
should be higher. It should be higher.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And they gave up 39% on the field goal.
Yeah, it should be. I really feel like that should be higher. It sounds like a 3-point field goal percentage, but
yeah, but they didn't get quite that high. We'll get there. Their free throw percentage to me is a disappointing 72%.
Oh, that is totally disappointing. 75-80 is where I want you to be at. That is disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. 3-point field goal percentage was 353. But we only gave up 333, and knock on Iowa has always been we give up the easy three.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it
yeah.
looks like we shot it better than our opponents did this year.
Which is amazing. At times, it did not feel like it did it.
Mm-mm.
No, it really felt like everybody was hitting threes on us, and people who never even shot threes were hitting threes on us. Is what it felt like.
I know it's always the joke. It says, "What team are we going to make healthy and look like superstars tonight?"
No, for real, for real.
Yeah.
And
We
give
had a
your
5.
fans a bunch of heart attacks.
Yeah. We had a 5.8 plus rebound margin, 18
Yep.
assists a game, 16 turnovers a game,
That's
which is high. But I think you said 15 and below would be okay.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
do you still hold by that?
but if you're doing 15, you have to have better shooting percentages, and you got to
Yeah.
shoot better from the free throw line. Like, you can't have the 15 turnovers and then be low in those other areas, right?
I just don't understand why the free throw shooting was so down this year. I mean,
I have no
Lucy
idea
by nature is a
either.
good free thrower, but she's had games where she missed a lot.
And it's Stolke. You know,
Stolke's gotten
was-
better though. I would say if you go from her freshman, she improved in her sophomore year, and I think she was a better free thrower this year than she was last year. I mean, but she still had those moments, but I think she has really improved over. I bet if I went out and looked to see what her
Yeah.
each
I
3
mean,
years percentages, I bet it went up.
Yeah. And with Stolke though, it's like I'm just waiting for her to break out, like break away, like just
Mhm.
become a dominant force. And I don't feel like she did that this year consistently.
Mhm.
Right? She was there a couple times, but not consistently something that she
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
You know?
Can Hannah become the leader on this team that she needs to be next year and be like a Sydney O'Fault, or just take control, be vocal? Because she
It's
just
not in
seems like
her.
she's too nice of a sweet person to
It's
be like
not in her. No, she's going to be a quiet leader, and she
Mhm.
needs to be led. But I don't think, I mean, I saw an interview with her late in the year where I was like, okay, there you go. She's now kind of coming out of her shell. But I just look at her as, I mean, very quiet, soft spoken, but she'll break out on the court. She's going to kick your butt on the court, but she's not
Mhm.
going to be vocal about it.
No.
And that's okay. I mean, there's players that are like that. It's crazy. Like, I've seen that even on the softball field. Remember, this person is just dominating. Like, on the field, they're dominating and hitting, and then you get them off to the side and you talk to them, and they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Whoa! Like, what happened? Like, you should be just like, I got this. Let's go." Like, and that's just Hannah. Hannah's always been like that. Unless she's doing a TikTok, which she's never talking on the TikTok though. She's dancing on the TikTok.
She's
Notice that.
dancing. Yeah. The
Not
only
a lot of
person I've
talking.
ever on that team I've actually seen talk are Lucy, Jada, and
Yep.
AJ. The others are
Yep.
just pretty much dancing.
Dancing.
Yeah, and honestly, what's sad is the day before Aaliyah announced that she was going to jump into the portal.
Mhm.
She was doing a TikTok dance in her uniform with the other black girls on the team.
Mm.
And so I don't know. It's like, what happened? Why did she all of a sudden change her mind? Why didn't she want to be a Hawkeye anymore? And I know that you told me privately that you thought she might be headed to follow
Maybe.
Harmon.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would
I think
not be
most people are
surprised.
thinking Indiana.
Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if she goes that direction.
I wouldn't either.
Florida Gulf Coast. Maybe to go down there and dominate a little bit. Get some playing time and then move again. Who knows? I mean, I don't know. Anywhere you play, if you get more playing time and you get your stats up and you start getting people, they start seeing you, right? You're
Mhm.
playing more. If she's just looking at her future, what she wants to do, does she want to play in the W? Does she, like, where does she want to go, right? Like, you start
Mhm.
thinking about those things, and if you're behind a bunch of guard heavy recruits coming in that are what 6'1", 6'2", right? These are big girls
Hmm.
coming in, and she's not that big girl, right?
Right.
So you got to
Right.
kind of, and I hate it, but at least they have that choice. We didn't have that choice back in the day. I just had to watch these recruits come in and take my job.
No. Yeah.
Sit there and be happy
It's a
about
lot
it.
different nowadays. Now, I was
Yeah,
reading on some people who were back in the portal and they're getting ready to go to the third or their fourth college.
it's
It's just
nuts.
like every year they jump. I mean, how do they even get a decent education?
You're not. You don't worry about education then. You're not worried about your degree. There's no way you are. You can't be.
Hmm.
Because you've got to talk about transferring your transferring your credits, right?
Hmm.
My credits didn't transfer from UCLA to Iowa when I transferred. And I had to sit out a year. They didn't transfer. So like the credits that I had for English classes, I had English A and English B, and then from UCLA and a couple other classes. And then when I came back to Iowa, that they didn't equate to Iowa standards. So I had to take it over again, which is crazy. So I could have had a minor in English, I swear, because I had so many English classes. Lucky I love it and it's my
Hmm.
favorite, but
Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people forget is back in the day before all this NIL stuff, they had to sit out a year.
I did. I sat out a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Everybody, not
was
just
it,
you.
no, and if you transferred within, because I looked at Washington, because I really loved the Washington coach.
2 years.
Uh, yep, I would have had to sit 2 years, and I was like, I can't do that. And she told me that she's like, tied back, don't do that to yourself. Don't you can't. I'd love to have you, but I can't have you sit 2 years,
Yeah.
and you can't sit 2 years. So
No, I remember, and Kelvin may help me remember this. Iowa men's basketball player seemed like he'd been around forever, but I think because he transferred within the Big Ten to Iowa, I think he had to sit a couple years. I want to say he came from Wisconsin, but I could be wrong. But Calvin
mm,
will know. He'll let me know.
he'll figure it out, won't he?
Yeah, he will. Never looks anything up. Just has it right up here where
I
where
know
my
it's
brain is
weird.
starting to falter. His seems
Yeah.
to be getting stronger.
Yeah, I have that with some weird stuff too, like songs. I'll just be able to tell you, like, oh, that's so and so, or like,
Hmm.
what
Yeah.
college did this player go to? And you can just spit it out. It's crazy.
By the way, Jan Jensen in her first year became
Yes.
Jared Utah. There we go.
Okay.
Became won the for a first year coach
Yes.
in Iowa, won the second most games.
Yes.
I'm assuming Angelique won the first one,
Yeah.
just
Right.
number
Yeah.
one.
Right. Isn't
Yeah,
that
and we
great?
had her right here on this
We
show.
sure did. And we even
We got to
talked
get
about
her
that. We're
back.
like,
She was a lot of fun.
yeah, we told her, we was like, how amazing was that, Coach Lee, that you came in? Because we talked about coming in as a first year coach, coming behind such a big
Hmm.
name like C. Vivian Stringer, and she comes in getting Coach of the Year, right? Rookie Coach of the
Hmm.
Year. And then Jan does the same thing. I mean, she deserves it. I mean, she really does. It's
Yeah,
amazing. It does. I mean, because oh my God, like she totally deserves it, especially after coming after that off of the season they had last year. Phew.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I
You know,
mean,
how hard do you think it was for Jan and the team, knowing that the last 2 years they were in the finals, to watch it on TV and watching two other teams go at it,
it's
especially
awful.
South Carolina, who
It's awful. I've been there,
Mhm,
done that. It's awful. You don't even want, and you're at home because I mean, they went out a little bit later. Like I think when we went out, I can't remember when we went out. I think it was my junior year. We went out
mhm,
not early, but
mhm.
maybe the Sweet 16.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you go, the longer you go, the closer you get to spring break, and then you
Mhm.
can't make any plans or anything, and you're the only ones left on campus, sitting there with nobody on campus, just you in the dorms watching everybody play on TV. It's
Yeah.
not fun.
Well, so let me ask you: do some of the girls just decide, well, we're not playing anymore? Let's just make some quick plans on the spur of the moment. Let's go do something.
Well, we didn't have any money back then. They got money
That's
now. They
true.
can go do
That's
that.
true. Yeah, you didn't have any money. The only thing you guys could do was actually travel home if you had to.
Yeah, I drive home. I'm in Iowa City. I drive home to Cedar Rapids or Waterloo and hang out with my parents. But who wants to do that on spring break? So we'd all just hang out together and bar hop. Let's just be honest,
Yeah.
with
Well, you said
nobody
Cedar Rapids
there.
or Waterloo. So did you have a parent in each town?
Well, my mom moved back. She moved to Cedar Rapids. So
Okay, alrighty.
we were in Waterloo, and then I think about mid year, once my junior year at Iowa, she moved to Cedar Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like she came down for a recent visit down there
she
for
did.
you,
Yeah,
and
yeah, it was
looks like
great.
she enjoyed her time with the grandkids.
Yeah, she did. She got to see Millie play some hockey, which is pretty crazy. She's like, "This is nuts," and I'm like, "I know, right?" She's like, "But it's really cool." She's like,
Yeah,
My
none of them,
brain." She
but
goes,
none of
"My
them want
brain is."
basketball.
Yeah, she's like, "My brain's not working though because it's like it should be ice and cold, but it's
Mhm.
hot and hockey outside. Crazy." What's that? What's Cal? Is that who's that
Okay,
saying
Calvin is
something?
saying the old rule was 2 years
Yep.
inside the Big Ten, which we knew that.
Yep.
Unless you paid your own way, no scholarship for a year. So basically, I guess you could play if you paid.
Right. No one's gonna do that. I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, I still had to pay for my first semester when I came back, but I still had to sit out. And Coach Stringer just did that because at the time she had no scholarships
Mhm.
offered because she had signed like I think 6 top recruits or something like that.
Mhm.
So I had to pay for a semester before she could
Free up
come
a
up with,
scholarship for you.
yeah, come up with the money. And I think that was also just a, do you really want to be here? Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to come back to Iowa?
She
Let me
was
test
testing
you.
you. See
Let
what
me
a good
test you,
coach she
tied
was. She
back.
was testing you.
She
Yeah.
was testing me. Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm just
For sure.
sorry that injuries got in the way of your career.
Me too. I
I
know,
think
but
you could have been a dominant force on the floor if they
yeah,
hadn't.
it sucks. But everything happens for a reason. I mean, it just does. I mean,
Yeah.
it's made me a better coach, that's for sure.
Okay. All right. Let's just okay. Like we said, we don't have Leah Guyton coming back next year. Our presumed starter for at point guard. Who do we currently have on the team? And I know they're out there shopping for one, but that you think could honestly step in and be a decent point guard.
Hmm. Without Aaliyah, you got anybody?
Well, okay. Here's Kenise Johnson is a point guard, but everybody's telling me that she's not that great. I don't know how true that is because
I have no idea. We haven't seen her.
we saw her through the month of December before we even played Big Ten competition. We don't know what she was capable of,
No.
you know. But she's a
No.
point guard, and her high school stats look pretty darn good, and her high school film looks pretty darn good. I
I mean,
realize that.
I guess you could force McCabe.
Yeah. Well, the other person I was thinking, and I'm told that this probably won't happen, is Kelly Levine is also a point guard.
Okay.
Could it be if she works extra hard this summer that she at least gets herself in a backup role to do that? Because
Yeah.
we
Or a
saw
two,
her when
a
she got
1-2.
into the games. She's a nasty passer. She passes very well.
Yeah, and the other one, Stremlo.
Yeah, yeah, Stremlo. Yeah.
For sure, Stremlo. I think
Yeah, I
Stremlo can
think
do it.
McCabe could. I think McCabe could do
I
it.
think you
I
could
don't
one
think any of
two.
those girls could do it on a regular basis like
No,
Lucy
but I think you could
and
one
Guyton
two.
did this year.
Yeah, I think you could 1-2 Stremlo and McCabe 1-2 them, like,
Hmm.
back and like just keep them opposite each other, and they both bring the ball up because there's not really like in our offense. I mean, you don't have it really where you like got to hand the ball off to a
Hmm.
point guard and let them break the press. Like there's none of that
Hmm.
anymore, really. You know what I mean? Like we either get the rebound and go with it, or we break the press with passing. I mean, you're not looking for a guard to now. Stremlo can run it. McCabe can run it. They can start the offense. They can tell everybody what they need to do if you're looking
Hmm.
at a point guard that way. But I'm not looking at a point guard like now as I'm looking at a point guard back when we played.
Right. Yeah. It's
You
a
know, that
little different
really
role. This is yet you're saying
it
it's a little bit
is. It
different.
is. I think it's just because all the players are just so well rounded,
Yeah.
Like even
Well, you got
Stolke can
Strimlo
bring
and
up.
Deal.
Yeah,
Kelvin says Strimlo and Deal are not
yeah,
pure point guards, but are our best option. Could Deal come
absolutely. I
in and
agree.
take over the point guard her freshman year, much like Caitlin did her freshman year?
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, I just don't think it's as it were back in the day, where this is your 1 player, this is your 2 player, this is your 3 player. Tied back, you stay at the high post, right? You know, Tony Foster, you stay at the low post.
Mhm.
You're not shooting a 3 anymore, tied back. Tony Foster, you staying in. It's not like that anymore. It's like they're interchangeable. I mean,
Yeah,
Stolke can bring the
well,
ball up if she needs to.
especially in the Iowa offense, yeah. In the Iowa offense,
Absolutely.
they are
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
change up a lot. Okay, so this year, midway through the season, they switched Hannah back to the 5 and moved
Yep.
a Falter to the 4, which a Falter was a force there.
Yep.
And so I appreciate everything she did at the 4. Here's my question. Okay, they're actually looking for a power forward or a 4, because Jan already said that. So if they
Yeah.
find one, and with Ava Hayden
Yeah.
coming out, having her coming out party during the Big Ten tournament,
Yeah. Great job.
yeah, great job for her. Yeah. And so does that push Hannah back to like a backup role behind the 4 and the 5 than a starting role? Because if they go out and find a 4, they're probably going to start the 4.
No, I think what she's doing is trying to protect us when we get into that foul trouble, because we
Mm-hmm.
still have that foul trouble with Hayden
Mm-hmm.
as a freshman going into her sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Stolke, she still likes to foul and get herself into trouble. So I think
Mm-hmm.
she's just looking at that something, because if you look at it, that was the reason, like, think about South Carolina. That's the reason South Carolina could not do what they needed to do against UConn. They didn't have an inside game.
No, my God, I didn't even see that coming, that blowout. I'm sorry, Andrew. Andrew just happened to come in at the time you started saying that.
Sorry,
Sorry.
bud.
I expected a better game from South Carolina. I don't know
Me
what
too,
happened
but
there.
they didn't have an inside game and they couldn't stop Strong. They could not stop that freshman.
Yeah.
That freshman was dominating inside, domination.
Yeah.
And
And
she
the
did
thing,
a
Iowa has
she.
UConn on their schedule this next season.
I know.
And I'm thinking
So
I think 2 or 3 freshmen plus that AZ Fudd coming back.
yeah, she's so great.
She needs to go to the WNBA. Let's send her to the WNBA.
Well, I think she's gonna take one more year just because of that knee injury.
Yeah, and I get that. Paige
Yeah.
Becker took one more year. I did not know that she actually had another year she could have used this year.
Yeah.
In her interview, she was funny. She goes, they were asking her, well, you've never officially declared for the WNBA. And she goes, I thought I had, when she said she was coming back for one last year.
Right? Yeah, and I like it because I think then she what happens is if she comes back, what that does is just ups her placement in the draft, because now she's the shining star. Like she's
Mhm.
gonna shine with Strong, the freshman. Like she's gonna shine with them. She's a great player. I mean, she's just like, and you had Paige Becker sort of overshadowing her, but man,
Yeah, she will be that team star next year.
yeah, for sure. And Iowa's that's why I think that's Jan's looking at, she understands I gotta protect us, because if she doesn't bring in another one and they get into foul trouble, what then?
Yeah, what then? Yeah.
What
The
do we
thing
have?
that surprises me, I mean, not that I'm not going to go out there and tell these coaches how to coach their games because they get paid $1 million to do it.
Yeah.
I get paid nothing to sit here and criticize.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But the thing that I forgot where I was going with this.
It's okay, but like with the coaches and with like their decisions that they have to make on who they're recruiting and bringing in, and you go, okay, well, you've got Hayden, right? You got Stolke. Then who do you have behind that? Hayden, Stolke.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your big girls? Oh, okay. So
Jada.
hello.
Yeah, we got nothing. Hayes coming in next year. Lola Hayes and Layla Hayes.
Yeah, Layla Hayes, but again, a freshman.
They say that she's more of a project. I don't know how true that is.
Right? And why is Iowa bringing in a project? I mean, Iowa, we got to bring in like somebody who's going to step right on the floor. Now, I really am impressed with our freshmen and how they played this year. I'm just letting you know, and I
They
think
should
they'll
have played
come back.
more though.
I agree.
When I see what UConn did with their freshmen and played them all
I
year,
agree.
they're ready to step into a major role next year.
Oh my God! And USC, let's talk about USC and their freshmen.
Yeah.
After Juju got hurt, are you kidding me?
They stepped it up.
Jeez, did they?
I don't know that they would have beat UConn even if Juju was there.
No. No, UConn was on a whole different level. He even said that, like Gino even said that. He said this team finally fell in love with each other. Like they finally fell in love with each other. They finally liked their coaches and they finally fell in love with the process. And once all of that falls into place, you can't stop anybody. It's much like Florida. Florida men's team and that head coach, he's got Florida in the same mindset. They love their coaches, they love each other, and they play for each other. You can see it. You just see it.
Yeah. Oh, Kelvin has another comment. He said, I had expected point guard a Molly Davis type and a 4 that can stretch it out to 3. We need scores. We do need scores.
Oh, absolutely. We do. He's right. We need our 3-point shoot. We need our deadly 3-point shooters. We have to have that.
Yeah.
That are consistently deadly from the 3.
As nice as Sydney and Kylie this year, they weren't consistent scores. And I'm going to
Well, you got Kylie back too. Beerbox, she's coming back.
Yeah, she is. I want to see what the where's it at? Okay. Sydney averaged 8.5 points a game. Kylie averaged 6.7. Taylor McCabe averaged 6.7. These are our starters. Okay. We need I want to see double figures out of these girls.
Yeah.
Well, Sydney won't be back next year, but
no, but we need. You're right. I mean,
McCabe needs to be double figures next. We need to be able to have her hit that 3 every.
Consistent double figures.
She expects to hit that 3 every time she throws it up.
Yeah, she should be shooting right now, every day for next year.
Hopefully, she is.
But yeah.
So wait a minute. Okay. I'm just looking to see what the averages are. Lucy 17, Hannah 12, O'Grady 9.
Yeah.
O'Grady was the 3rd highest on the team, so that says we lost a lot of our scoring this year. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, what bothers me is the freshmen didn't shoot as much as I thought they should.
Right. And I think she could have used that 5 in, 5 out mentality with those freshmen a little bit more, keeping them together and getting them to play. You know how she was doing that at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. Well, I liked it too. Is during the Big Ten tournament, she had all 5 of them in there at the same time during meaningful time.
And then we never saw it again.
We never saw it again. You know, and to me, that's where Callie showed me that she could play point guard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, her passes were crisp. She got them to the right people. Now, some people didn't catch them, but
I mean, and you need to. She's going in, not playing, not being on the bench, coming in with some jitters. If you give her that chance, like, you know, she's still going, man, if I screw up, am I going to be on the bench again? Man, if I do this, am I going to, you know, like you aren't going to say those things, but you feel and think those things. You just do.
Yeah.
You know, you're like,
but with the freshmen coming back, we've got 5.
Yeah, there's no scoring
10,
on there.
Yeah. We have a total of average of 10 points with the freshmen coming back.
Now, do they have the ability to score? Yes.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. We know they do because we saw that early in the season.
Yes.
And I thought it was funny when you talked about Strimlow and McKay being a 1-2 punch for us, and their numbers are 1-2.
There you go.
So perfect, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, yeah.
So it looks like Kelvin is saying that we're going after 3 portal people. It looks like
something about the USC girl, the guard from USC. I don't know. I haven't heard any others. I just kind of
Kelvin sent me one on an Illinois State girl. She's like 5'10" guard, but her stats look amazing for from Illinois State. But
it's Illinois State.
Yeah, I know. But apparently, we have the money because
it's not a USC or a UCLA or a Ohio State or a.
Yeah, there was a girl that spurned us. We offered more money, but she still went to Miami. Well, she wants to play in Florida. She wants to live in Florida. Can you blame them?
Yeah, there was another one that was like, she went somewhere, and I was saying, well, she'll be there a year, and then the transfer portal. I just like it's she's gonna transfer. Like I'm just telling you right now. And I think it was from somebody from Iowa went out to somewhere on the West Coast. And I said, yep, 1 year transfer portal. Because you don't know what you're getting into until you get out there. And then you get out there and you're like, whoa, wait, this is what I
Okay.
isn't what I thought.
Alvin doesn't like that you said something about she being from Illinois State because his next question was, where was Molly Davis from? Central Michigan.
It's okay. But who was she surrounded by? Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
That's a
You
little bit
notice that
different.
Molly was so timid her first year on the Iowa campus. We didn't get much from her.
Yep.
Because she was afraid to shoot until
Yep.
they put her in the starting lineup and told her to shoot.
Yep.
Lisa said, you can shoot. You need to shoot. Then she became a force until she got hurt.
But put Molly Davis on this team now, this Iowa team now.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. I'm telling you, because Caitlin really does set people up. She really does make it easy for them to shoot within the offense.
Yeah.
Nobody's in their face.
Yeah.
And you know that. Like, she drew so many people and bam, would dish it out. I mean, you dish it out to me out there, I'm hitting that 3 too. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Well, there are two girls I would like to see on this team.
Uh-huh.
Girl from Drake, what's her name? Katie Dennebeer or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has any eligibility to that, but if she does, would she please consider coming to Iowa?
I'd like to see that.
And the Jensen girl, I think her name is Laura Jensen, who transferred from Iowa to Creighton and then burned Iowa on a round of 32.
Yeah. I'd like to see what's her name from Nebraska. The little blonde girl, the little freshman that was killing it.
Yeah, but she's always been a true Nebraska fan. She ain't leaving.
Nah, she's doing well. She won't.
Yeah. Gino had 2 top 10 freshmen on the team, and one of them didn't play. It just tells you how deep UConn is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then,
before we run out of time, what did you think of Caitlin's
I loved it.
That little party that she had?
I loved it. They took care of everything right in that first 5 minutes, especially, all the big media hype on how they just took that little snippet of Diana Taurasi telling her that she's gonna welcome to the real world or something like that, whatever she said. And then Caitlin gets on there and said something to Diana Taurasi saying how's congratulations on your retirement. And then she pretty much turned around and said, "Yeah, now I'm looking out for what's coming next, and the real world's about to hit me too." Like, and it was good because I really loved how they it wasn't direct. It was very they were literally hitting everything that social media was saying. That there was this fight between Diana Taurasi and Caitlin and everybody, and that they don't like her and all this stuff, and everything I think that had been blown out of proportion, right, was addressed in it. And I think she did an amazing job of just explaining everything.
It was nice to see Caitlin relax a little bit and be a little loose last night.
Her funny self,
instead of being so guarded.
Like getting to be who she is, because that's Caitlin.
She obviously has a sense of humor. She showed a little bit of it last night.
It's so it's crazy. That's hilarious.
I'm waiting for her, when those other 2 girls give up their show, that I know Caitlin's show.
Oh yeah, she could have one real easy. Tons of people would totally go in on that one for sure. I mean,
well, I think the good thing about Caitlin is I think this year she's not going to get beat up as much as she did.
Oh, she knows
what it expects, and I says maybe people will turn their anger and their frustrations toward Paige.
No,
I know. I know. I don't know why Caitlin got singled out, and but yeah,
I don't know.
She shouldn't get beat up as much this year because now she's got some enforcers on the team.
Oh, it's insane what they put on that team. I mean, wait till you see the Indiana Fever. I've got tickets to all the games here. It was crazy because I was on email, right, and I get a thing that says, hey, you want to buy tickets to the Fever Dream game, and it's the first one, and it's at State Farm Arena. And because I was ticket holder last year, they sent me a thing, and I got 2 tickets. I'm like, I'm right in the middle of the floor, like right on the aisle, and it was only $180.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Oh,
That's
that's
not bad
great.
compared to what they were asking.
I mean, come on. I'm going to watch Caitlin play, and it's in State Farm, packed, sold out amazingness for $180. Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I can't wait till that Brazilian preseason game they get on TV.
Oh my gosh, I can't either. It's gonna be insane.
People are like money that people are spending on that.
Yeah, but it's just
Again.
I just love that, and I cannot wait for the WNBA to start. I've never said that my entire life. I mean, even after I was playing and I got out, I just stopped watching it because it was so dang boring. Sorry guys, but I'm just telling the truth. And now I just cannot wait to watch it.
Oh no, right now I'm so excited about women's basketball that I know that the men's championship game is on tonight, but I'm probably not going to watch it.
I can watch a replay.
It might be starting here pretty quick. I don't know what time it starts.
I think so. I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, anything else you want to put a bow on the season here? Come on in. Yeah, my granddaughter.
Oh,
she brought over my hot dogs.
That's awesome. No,
Sophie,
I'm
you want
just
to poke your head here and say hi to everybody? Okay.
Yeah, hi.
All right, bye, Sophie. Okay. I knew she wouldn't.
Just super excited about what the season comes. Can't wait to see what they pull in, and just to see how they start. I hope, we have a stronger start next year. I mean, for real. Like, but we have got to. I'm just letting you know, we got to start recruiting. We really got to recruit in the big time. We have to.
You mean the transfer portal right now, or both?
Everything.
Yeah,
everything in general. And we hope. Because we rode in off of the Caitlin hype, that bringing in some of these players, right? How long does that
hoping
last?
That we'd still carry some of that through.
Right? How long does that last? Right?
Retirement, to the jersey retirement. I mean, I think we got one out of that.
Right. And my thing is, how long does that last? Like, does that hype last? Does that fall off again?
You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. Does it fall off again and we lose players again and we start to drop again? I mean, I hope not. I really hope not, because I want to see them keep riding the wave and keep selling out and keep having those exciting home games. I mean, going to that UCLA game was amazing. It was off the chain environment. So I really just hope the Hawkeyes stay up top and they keep doing what they're doing, and Jan keeps doing what she's doing, and we get to keep talking about this amazingness and.
Yeah, and I think I was going to tell people too. I think we're going to try to do some Fever games this year. Are we not?
We should. Yeah, we need to.
Okay.
Because there's going to be some hype we got to talk about. We're going to talk about some stuff.
Oh yeah, some good stuff. All right. I just want to remind people that on Thursday night live at the same time, Callie Levine from the current team will be on this podcast. We're very excited, and hopefully she brings the same energy she brings to her teammate. She brings here.
Can't wait.
Okay. All righty. I guess it's time to get out of here. I know that you had to run, and I'm glad you stayed an extra few minutes.
Yeah, I just got my kids. You know how it is, spring break. So.
Yeah. Well, you and your kids have fun tonight, and
we will.
You take care. I'm going to get us out of here. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thank you.
I will never be free now, my baby. No, no.